Good morning on this Friday, December 13th, 2024. Welcome to Breakfast with Bridgett, streaming live on News 6 Plus and ClickOrlando.com. I'm Bridgett Ellison. Good to be with you. Hope you're keeping warm this morning. Things not quite as cold as yesterday, thank goodness, but we'll get over to Candace in just a second. Also taking a look at some of the top stories this morning, and we'll have a live interview with an expert on caring for diabetes as well as pre-diabetes, especially around the holidays and, all the treats and all the things that get it added into our diets around this time of year. So we'll talk about the concerns and best practices around that and things to watch out for coming up in a little bit. But first, let's get over to the Pinpoint Weather Center with Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos. Candace, not quite as cold, but still, I still have my boots just in case.
It's all dependent on where you are. So right now in our Marion kind of inland areas, we're in the
Mhm.
40s, I-4s in the 50s, and then the coastline's in the 60s. So it all really depends on where you are this morning, and into the afternoon it will start warming up. We're about 20 degrees warmer this morning than we were yesterday. So let's take it to the maps and show you what's going on across Central Florida. You can see those temperatures. We're at 47 degrees in the Villages, 51 in Sanford. We're at 68 degrees there in Titusville, 66 in New Smyrna. So to take you here hour by hour so you can kind of plan out your Friday. I love that festive background, don't you? It's so cute.
Yeah.
73 is our temperature this afternoon. The breeze, that is really going to start picking up again this afternoon. And that's going to be the culprit for one, the warmer weather, and two, the better chance for rain in the forecast. So let's show you here. These are the wind gusts that they are going to be clocking up between about 20, 25, up to almost 30 miles per hour, especially along our coastline. And then we'll see it die down a little bit into the evening hours, then ramping back up for Saturday, Sunday as well. So with that being said, that breeze will be picking up and delivering a couple of those fast moving sprinkles in the forecast. So again, we can see there mix of sun and clouds, but notice how steady that moisture flow will be as we head into Saturday. So come Saturday, rain chances do go up to about 20%, and we're going to continue to keep a slight chance for rain. You can see a few pockets can't be ruled out, some little heavier pockets there. Nothing severe, nothing super heavy, but still don't be surprised as we continue to head through the weekend if you do get caught under a rogue shower or two. The good news is it really won't last long. So looking here, the coastal impacts, the breeze, again, warming us up, bringing us a little rain, but also roughing up our surf and our near shore water. So we do have a small craft advisory. We have a high surf advisory. We have even the potential for some minor beach erosion in the forecast. So if you are thinking, the 80s are nice, we should maybe enjoy the beaches, you can. Just do be aware it's going to be breezy, and it is going to be a day you don't want to really adventure too much in the water. Rain chances for this afternoon, about 10% across our kind of our inland neighborhoods, a touch higher, closer towards our coastline. Now, until the rest of the 7-day forecast, we're going to be trending warmer than average. We're talking upper 70s, close to near 80. As of right now, we are watching a cold front that has the potential to pack quite a punch in the forecast, though not this weekend, but next weekend. We're talking more like December 20th through the 22nd. And if that front does come through, and it comes through clearly in clear Central Florida, our Climate Prediction Center is showing that there is that potential of seeing temperatures below average. So that's why you see more of the area highlighted there in blue. So you know what, at the end of the day, if we can keep conditions either near or below average for Christmas, I think folks would really like that. We just don't want the extremes
Yeah.
that we had a couple years ago. So showing you here your 7-day forecast, again, nearing 80 Sunday, Monday, and into Tuesday. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't really have too much time on TV to talk about this, but there is a front on Tuesday. As of right now, most of the models do show it kind of fizzling out before it gets here, which is why temperatures really won't cool down much. But there are a few outliers that that actually bring in a more of a potent front that could cool temperatures down about 10 degrees colder than what the forecast 7-day right now is showing. But as of now, we're going to hold it as staying warm into the weekend, through the weekend and into early next week. But of course, make sure to stay, come back, check in. It's that time of the year where cold fronts could still be finicky here in Central Florida.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just right back to the flip-flops here, so that's
Yeah,
fine.
and of
That's
course,
good.
having the umbrella or just a quick little raincoat that if you need to, like, run in and out of stores or you're still doing your last-minute holiday shopping or meeting up folks for any holiday parties or whatever the case may be, just do be aware there could be a few of those showers kind of mixed into your plans.
Yes. All righty. Well, that's not too bad. Not too bad at
No, I
all.
don't
That's
think
pretty
so.
good.
I don't think so.
Yeah. All right, Candace. Thanks. So you have a lot of work to do this weekend.
Not really. I think we're gonna go see some Christmas lights this weekend. I gotta do some wrapping.
Yeah.
I gotta
Mhm.
do some wrapping. Although,
Mhm.
you know what? I was just telling Steve this earlier this morning. I think I did well on the gift giving, and we didn't go over the top. It was nice
Mhm.
little thoughtful gifts,
Mhm.
nothing too crazy to break the bank. So the amount of stuff I have to wrap is not it's not crazy,
That's
thankfully.
good. That's good.
Mhm.
That's the way to go. All right.
Right? How about you? What are you doing?
Yeah, so today I have to head over to Gift for Teaching. Today is Grant a Wish Day. So that's
Oh,
this morning,
fun!
where they let 3 students go for a big shopping run in the store and they've
I
like
love it.
loaded
It's a
the
very
store.
supermarket sweep. Yeah, I get
Yes,
love it.
yes.
Mhm.
And they bring in more than school supplies on this day. So there's all these
Yes.
great goodies in there from the different sponsors and stuff. So that, and then on Sunday, they have the tree lighting celebration at Boys Town in Oviedo. So I'll be out there for that. So
Mhm.
all the festivities jam packed. We lit the Christmas tree all together last Friday.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's gonna be fun. And the weather should
yeah,
cooperate for all of that.
very good. Very good. Well, thanks, Candace.
All
See
right,
you in a
bye.
minute. Bye. All right, we want to head over to Trooper Steve, get a look at the roads. I know he was saying that it looked like it was going to be a busy morning. Now it's 7:37. Good morning. How's it going?
It's actually not horrible out there. We're just seeing the issues out by the attractions this morning. But I tell you, when I first came in this morning driving, there were a lot of cars out
Yeah.
on the road this morning. So I think we're picking up into that holiday random travel time and things like that.
Mm.
So we can go straight to the roads because we are seeing those slowdowns over eastbound I-4 over by the attractions. County Road 532 puts us close to Osceola Polk Line Road out there over at our county line. I should be hitting the space bar and not enter. But as you continue a little further east, things clear up out by Central Florida Parkway. A lot of construction out there this morning, but you just got to be careful. All your lanes are open. No major crashes to give to you guys this morning. And downtown Orlando, surprisingly, flowing really, really good. Up to speed with no slowdowns, even by the Cayley area. Westbound 408, nice and smooth. So if you're hitting the roads this morning looking to travel through the attractions, Champions Gate to 408, 32 minutes, which isn't too bad. And then 21 minutes coming in from Seminole County if you're starting at 417 to downtown Orlando. Brevard County, you guys look good with no issues. Even the southern portions out there, nice and smooth, Bridgett. So for the most part, we are pretty clear. But people need to understand that this rush begins kind of this weekend with all the randomness
Mm-hmm.
that is going to be out on the roads. Different people start their holidays at different times. I start mine the
Mm-hmm.
second I walk out of this building today. So, well, the second I put the truck in park, I still have a stream to do at 10.
Yeah, yeah. What's up on the stream today?
I'll be visiting DeBerry over by their Sunrail station. So I think this is a little bit of an old request, but we'll still go out there. There's been a detour set up on some construction that takes people tremendously out of the way. And at least that's what they say. So we're going to go out
Mm-hmm.
there, check out their Sunrail station. I've never been to that one. So
Okay.
it'll be a little info just to see it. I love the Sunrail when it's working on the weekdays and the weather's nice. It's always nice to hop on there. So we'll go check that out. 10 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
ClickOrlando.com, YouTube, New 6 Plus, and of course the New 6 app.
Did you hear about the new line between Chicago and Miami with
I did not.
Amtrak? Yeah, and it's supposedly like start. I think it's starting up like now or this weekend or very shortly. But it'll be I guess a little bit more of a. I don't. It's not going to be a speed train though. I think it's just
No,
Amtrak. But
Amtrak. I think I can run along in the side of Amtrak.
right.
But it is interesting
It's a
because
good
I've
option
always
though.
yeah, I love trains. I've done the Bright Line down to Miami, which was phenomenal. I've done some amazing out of the U.S. Trains and stuff, and I tell you, trains are
Especially if you
always
don't
better
have a
outside.
ride and you don't like to fly, it's a good option. Yeah, if you have
Wait,
time.
definitely, I agree. I agree because it's just you just sit there and forget it, and then you just
Mm-hmm.
arrive at your destination.
Mm-hmm.
So, I
And like you
encourage
said,
that.
sometimes it's not always the fastest option, but definitely a good option for those that have different complications. But you know what? Before you go, I wanted to ask you about the street takeover. We didn't really get to talk about it much, but we're going to get to that package in a minute from Mark. And so, in terms of what we can do if we're out and encounter something like this, what would be like your safety advice? Like, do we need to have dash cameras sort of going 24/7 now when we drive? Should we
Uh,
try to turn around? What do you recommend?
Now, ever since the dash cameras have come out, I'm a big advocate for them. They can come in all shapes and sizes, all budgets, and it really is that independent witness if something was to happen. So whether you were in a crash, or you witnessed a crash, or you witnessed a crime. So if you're in the market or second guessing whether you should have a dash camera, I would always encourage someone to get one. It benefits people tremendously. But if you encounter one of these, I would never get out of my car. And I
Okay.
would be on the phone with 911 immediately, especially if these individuals are surrounding your vehicle or something like that. But even if you found it or rolled up on it and they weren't interacting with you, I would notify law enforcement. This would be considered emergency. You do not need to Google a number, dial 911 and contact them. And this also encourages the awareness of knowing your location all the time when you're driving. So if you're running into this problem, imagine if fire rescue or something needs to happen. They are causing major issues. And I know the sheriff's office in the beginning of the year, they posted a lot about aggressiveness on these street takeovers, and then it went away for a little bit, and now it's popping back up. So I would also encourage parents. A lot of these vehicles, even when I was a road trooper, you run the tags and they're registered to the parents.
Yeah.
So you're affecting so much more than just you as the criminal driver, but you're also affecting your parents' insurance and their reputation. So if you're a parent, I'd say take control of your vehicle, take it away for a little bit if you know that your kids are out and about. But this is a problem. Anytime you're driving around, especially in a residential neighborhood during the daytime, you could see these donuts spun around in some of the intersections, and this happens way too much. And people need to start taking traffic enforcement on such an aggressive zero tolerance level. I know so many people think that it's just traffic. Well, look what we're talking about: street takeovers, and that's something you think you see in the movies. So being nosy, being vocal, being that squeaky wheel, you'll help out more than you could ever imagine. Some people say, oh, you're ratting people out. Well, you're also helping out thousands of your community members by letting law enforcement know that this is happening.
Right. And so many people can get hurt, whether they are spectating or part of this, or like you said, just an
Well,
innocent
and to your
bypasser.
point about the whole thing involving the community and stuff, it's like there was video, and one of those victims had a child in the car, and it's like, where are you mentally, where you are driving on public streets, being destructive, or as I call when we're on patrol, being a clown, to where you think you're not affecting other people. Like these are parents trying to take care of their kids, and you're just out there being reckless. So, I would say always dial 911 immediately when you see something like this. Don't ever hesitate.
And so for the car enthusiast, or for the person who likes, tricking out a car or doing stunts or different things like that, what do you tell that person who's interested or enthusiastic about those types of things, like for a safer outlet?
I'm going to be very Trooper Steve on this one. It's like, if you're a car enthusiast and this is something that you're excited to do, the second that you decide to be a criminal about it, no one cares.
Right. But I mean, if you had a teenage kid and they wanted to go, what?
So there's so many private, we have a private raceway out on the east side that you could pay, and you can go out there on certain days. As long as it's on a course and there's first responders that are staged there and registered there, then you could be that car enthusiast and have a great time. I love a fast car. I don't know many people who don't, but it's like, know where to go. And there's nothing wrong in becoming a member of a car club and going to parking lots and showing off your car. But it's when you start spinning these tires all over the place in publicly accessed areas is when you begin to cross that line of it no longer being a hobby.
Right.
So find those private racetracks, because heck, I know the Osceola County Sheriff's Office even one time sponsored an evening of racing at that track in East Orange County. And so many people came out with so many different cars. It was great because they realized, there is a safe way to do this. But the second that an enthusiast brings it out on the street, they need to understand that they're crossing into a whole different world that there's no coming back from.
Right. And I gotta go, but we'll chat more
Yep,
later.
you're good.
Thanks, Steve. All right.
See ya.
So speaking of which, like I said, Mark Lehman has more on this. Orange County deputies are trying to track down about 30 people involved in this street takeover. Here's Mark.
The chaos unfolded on November 30th. The Orange County Sheriff's Office releasing this video of what they say is a large group shutting down the intersection of John Young Parkway and Central Florida Parkway. You can see a fire is set in the road and the space was used for cars to do donuts. Things then escalated. Deputies say the participants harassed innocent drivers and in some cases climbed on vehicles. In 2022, a state law was passed cracking down on takeovers, and earlier this year, Sheriff John Mina spoke about a new bill that strengthened penalties.
We hope it deters people out there who are looking to do these street takeovers and street racing, and we just hope they go somewhere else.
First-time offenders face a fine of up to $2,000 in loss of license for up to a year. The law also states that it's a third-degree felony if someone interferes with the movement of an emergency vehicle, which happened in this case last year in Orange County. While that didn't happen in last month's takeover, deputies say it was still a very dangerous situation and are asking for help in identifying the 30 people who they say were behind it.
All right, so we'll keep you posted on that. And of course, keeping in mind what Trooper Steve was talking about there. Now we want to get to the latest on the plans for the Pulse Memorial. Yesterday, the committee got really close to some really good renderings and final decisions on what it could look like before construction begins. But they also want more public input. Here's Angie with more details.
The new renderings showcase a thoughtful and reflective space, 49 illuminated columns symbolizing the lives lost, and a glass wall that reflects different colors. With the current plan, most of the original nightclub building will be torn down, but one wall will remain as part of the tribute. There's also a water feature that will outline the location of the dance floor where many of the victims were killed back in 2016. Throughout this process, victims' families have voiced their input.
They talked about a water feature. They talked about plants and trees and a place to reflect. And I think this has pretty much hit the nail on the head for most of them.
Pulse Memorial Advisory Committee Chair Dr. Larry Schooler says the process is about creating a space that honors everyone's voice.
We started from a place of deciding what we wanted this memorial to achieve, and now we're at a place of seeing what that actually could look like in reality, and it's a pretty remarkable moment, I think, for this community.
Really looking forward to that. It will provide so much healing for the community as they finalize those plans, and that goes in Soto. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with a professional diabetes education coordinator to talk about those concerns around the holidays when you're pre-diabetic or diabetic or you have loved ones with those concerns. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You know what? This is the holiday season, and when you think about the holidays, certainly sweets come to mind and just all of our favorite foods and family traditions and recipes. But this is challenging when you have different restrictions with your diet, and that can be a variety of things, including diabetes, pre-diabetes. That's why we have Kelly Ailman, a diabetes education coordinator with Health First this morning, to talk to us about enjoying ourselves but still keeping our health in mind around the holidays. Good morning, Kelly.
Good morning.
When we think about prediabetes and diabetes and the holidays combined, this could be the difference between, developing full blown diabetes or maybe making some headway and staying on track, right?
Correct. The holidays are a challenging time for all of us. So, we have to kind of approach it. We're going to have a lot of stress. We're going to have family gatherings. We're going to have parties at work. There are a lot of things that go on. We don't get our regular sleep schedule. We're not as active. So all of those things combined can really affect our health in general, but it definitely can have an impact on people that are living with diabetes, with their blood sugars and the effects that it would have on those.
And we're traveling too, and sometimes the choices are limited. So, what are some of the things that you educate people about as they get through the holiday season?
I think one of the biggest things that I try to encourage everyone, whether you have diabetes or not, is, to definitely take a break, try to get adequate rest. But when it comes to the food choices, I think in order to help us, we need to kind of practice not skipping meals and not maybe saving up for later for those special gatherings or holiday events. So I think it's best to try to start our day with adequate protein, making sure that we kind of do more mindful eating, as we like to say, versus mindless eating. So sort of having a little bit of a plan and a thought. But I think definitely a lot of us set ourselves up to overeat and to indulge if we don't eat at the beginning of the day. So I really
What
do
would be some
stress
of
getting.
your go to recipes for the first part of the day if you are, say, saving up for that heavier holiday gathering at the end of the day? What would be like a
Definitely
good,
protein.
yeah,
You,
like
you,
what
you
would be
need
that
something
dish?
protein related, whether it's like a plain Greek yogurt or a Greek yogurt of any form with berries or other fruits, cottage cheese, eggs of any form. That's always a great healthy way to start the day. Um, some people also just might do some type of a breakfast sandwich where there's protein involved, some form of lean protein, peanut butter, nuts
Hmm.
and seeds, things along those lines. I think that's what's really important for all of us is to get that adequate protein in. It fills you up and it helps you a lot in making better decisions throughout the day.
Right,
And it
right.
does help with preventing, blood sugar swings and things like that for people.
So we don't have to totally eliminate sweets, but if you are dealing with these conditions around diabetes, what do you tell them? Like they totally can't have anything, or what would be a nice substitute?
Oh no. When I'm teaching, I encourage people to eat, if they're going to eat something sweet, I would like them to eat the regular form of sugar. I'm not a big advocate of sugar substitutes. I'm not a big advocate of the sugar alcohols.
Mm-hmm.
I just think everything in moderation and just trying to look at that portion. I think you'll get more enjoyment out of the actual, regular dessert item. It's
Mm-hmm.
really just portion control,
Okay.
to me, is the key thing.
So where do we want to stay? What's a happy place of grams of sugar you think for a healthy practice?
Well, to be honest with you, when I do my teaching, I focus more on the carbohydrates with
All
my
right.
patients. They have to understand the carbohydrate effect.
Mm-hmm.
Carbohydrates are what actually turn to sugar. So I
Right.
don't really do a sugar teaching. I do more of a carbohydrate education with them. And, carbohydrates include a variety of things from cereals to crackers to rice to
Oh
pasta. So
yeah.
it's not just the sweets per se. So that is really where my focus is with our diabetes patients is getting a better understanding of carbohydrate foods and
Mm-hmm.
the direct effect that it can have on their blood sugar values.
That's one of the big things. That's why it's so important to have educators like yourself, because people do sometimes miss that part of it, the carbohydrate part of it. So where can we go for more of those tips and advice and educational information as we look at this type of topic?
Well, we do have a really, I think, fabulous program here through Health First. So, you know, people can come through a program like what we have. We're recognized through the American Diabetes Association. So there's a lot of great education that we offer, and we tailor it to whether you're prediabetes, type 1 or type 2. So they can easily go under the healthfirst.org and look up diabetes education and get information on our program. Otherwise, I would suggest a reputable website would be going through the American Diabetes Association. I do highly recommend anyone that wants to navigate through and find some really nice information. They got a wealth of information, very easy to access their information. So either way, I think those would be two great options for people.
All right, wonderful. Kelly, thank you so much for joining us with all of that information. Diabetes Education Coordinator for Health First, and happy holidays. Thanks for all you do.
Happy holidays. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thanks. Take care. Well, do we have time? We're going to go ahead and tell you about how the hurricane season may be over, but devastation caused by this year's storms is still being felt, as you know. And an SBA loan is a one lifeline to get people back on their feet. The federal government extended the deadline to apply. Here's News 6 anchor Justin Wormuth explaining in this week's Make Ends Meet.
We want people to apply so they can take advantage of this money that's there for them.
January 7th, that's the deadline to apply for a loan from the Small Business Administration if you're still struggling from the 1-2 punch of Hurricanes Helene and Milton.
It's better than a bank, and our interest rates are a lot less. The great thing, too, is for the first 12 months is deferred payment at 0%.
Rick Corrales with the Small Business Administration stopped by News 6 to explain how these low-interest loans can help you recover, whether it's covering repairs, replacing damaged property, or restoring your business to full operation.
What's some of the criteria that someone would need to get an SBA loan?
Be in the disaster area. That's number one. Other than that, it's very specific to the person based on their financials.
And the rates are competitive, as low as 2.8% for homeowners and renters and 4% for businesses. Personal property, vehicles included, covered as well.
Real estate piece, we can go up to $500,000. And for personal property, $100,000. For instance, vehicles, that's covered.
Corrales told us some people even use the loans while waiting for insurance payouts and then pay off the loan when the insurance money comes through. A pretty savvy way to help you make ends meet.
We can even cover their deductible, and they don't have to take the full amount. SBA can offer you something, they take what they need.
How quickly does that money come to them?
Within 5 business days, we can fund them $50,000 to get started.
Justin Wormuth getting results, News 6.
All right, so we're still waiting on Congress to replenish the funding for this, but in the meantime, you can still apply so that when that funding's back, they can hopefully approve you. The deadline to apply for the SBA program for the disaster loans is January 7th. Get all the details and more at clickorlando.com. That'll do it for now. I'll see you in just a little bit for Grant a Wish with a Gift for Teaching and at noon. Take care.